Yo, what's good, people? It's your boy Seven, and I've got another one. It's video season for me. You know what I'm saying? Switch it up a little bit. Um, okay. So I was about to make a video about birth certificates and the whole transgender movement, what's going on to the kids, stuff like that. And I will do that, but I've just come across this for a second. Now, this is not no new news. It's old, right? It's an old interview. You understand? But I just thought I'd break this down. We're gonna go through this, see what it's like, and certain things come to my attention. So we're just gonna give it a mention. This is no disrespect stream. More informational, more questionable. All right, let's go.
I was a good kid, I would say. But what people don't understand is before Bambaataa came along, I was already being molested. Wow. In that situation,
Okay, so Hassan Campbell's talking about him being molested back in the day. The whole Bambaataa situation. So let's just commence and listen to what he says, and I will chop at the same time.
it made it easier to break down the boundaries for him to come along. I was already being molested. He wasn't the first one that molested me. He was just the one that was supposed to be the pastor, the doctor, the counselor. Right. He was the heroic figure that nobody, you know what I mean?
Wait, Tom, I'm sorry.
Right. So you've already been molested before, Hassan Campbell says, but Bambaataa, if that's how you say his name, is the one that was the famous guy. He was the chosen one of where you're from. Everyone looked up to and respected. He was the one that was bringing money to the hood, shall we say?
When you said you got molested, who were you molested by? Can you share that information?
Well, the first one to molest me was a girl, and I'll never forget because she did some sucker shit. She was molesting me, and like a while, because she molested me for a few years too before Bambaataa came along. So when
what age?
I don't even remember, but she probably started molesting me like around the age of 6 or 7 years old.
Molested like just touching you and shit.
No, she was like straight rape, like straight. You know what I mean? But she's older than me by what 7 years, 6, 7 years. So anyway, with her, I could remember my situation because like when you go through traumas, a lot of the times your brain might block something out. Like you'll forget a lot of stuff. Me dealing with this, a lot of things.
I would like to know, since you say she was like raping you for like a few years, about 6 or 7, at what point did you try and reach out to your mother or your father or family member that this is happening? But let's carry on.
Came back, but you'll forget a lot of stuff. You just block it out in your brain. So with her, the one thing I never forget was I was with this girl that was my age, and we was behind the curtains playing house.
All right.
And she comes in the house, pulls the curtains, catch us, tells my mother, now I'm getting my ass whooped with an extension cord. And I never could get over it because I'm like, yo, you taught me this. But you gonna tell on me?
But she was...
Right. Okay. So, Hassan Campbell, you just turned around and said, the babysitter caught you behind the curtains, the one that was raping you. She went and told your mother. Your mother started to beat you. And all you could say in your head is look at her, think to yourself is what? Or even you said it to her, you're going to tell on me? You taught me this. So was you okay with this? Or was it really... No, like I'm saying, don't get my words misconstrued. Was it really rape like that? Like... Did you reach out to your parents and tell them that after that moment when she G'd on you, snitched on you, did you turn around to your mother and say, well, she taught me. She's been sleeping with me for how long? She's been raping me for how many years? Did you ever say that?
Man, she was jealous that you was
That's what's my young
She
lady.
was trifling. It wasn't that she was jealous. She was trifling because the crazy part about her was she was older than me. She had me by some years.
Right.
So she was sleeping with the men that was her age. She was a whore.
You remember her name?
Yeah, I remember her name.
You seen her?
She in jail. I think she robbed somebody in the bank or some shit like that.
Oh, what?
She off the meat rack.
So she was the first one.
She was the first one.
What was the second one? What was the second time?
Or that wasn't the second time because it was different people. Like as you go along, it was different people.
Wow.
Yeah, he said, what was the second time? Come on.
And then the second one that molested me, that was a dude. But the only reason why I don't put him on blast, even though he's a family member, is because he was still at a younger age. You see what I'm saying? And I don't know or never heard of him ever doing any of this shit again. So when you have a window where somebody might be a few ages older than you or whatever the case, I say, all right, I won't chop your head off because, like I said, I don't know you to be doing what you're doing now.
Right.
You know what I mean? But Bam was clearly...
So I got a question. You said you never got penetrated by Bams. You only got fired. So the first guy, the guy before Bams, right? Did he penetrate you? Have you actually been raped? Now, I've got another question other than that. The woman, the babysitter, was the first one to rape you. That's a woman. So, you know, that was like dick to pussy action, right? So didn't you think it was strange when the guy came along afterwards and started to, you know, didn't you think it was strange that he was putting something in your ass? Didn't that scare you? Didn't that hurt you enough to run away and not to come back around? Like, what made you? Because, like I'm saying, like, you're not gonna feel no pain doing it the natural way as a man, you know. You know what I'm trying to say? So, when it's scary enough when the man came around and then started doing that to your ass, didn't that scare you? Didn't that scare you? I've been seeing clips of people saying, it's hot, and they got fans by their ass, little skits or whether it's real or not, whatever. But didn't you go through the same motion? And who did you run to when you was feeling the burn? To take care of the burn? With the first guy? The second guy, I mean. You know, before you got with Bams. Anyway, so by this time, you've been touched like by two different people.
20 years older than me. 20 plus years older than me doing what he was doing.
So Bam was like the third person that molested you? You would say?
About third or fourth.
It was a
about
girl.
third or fourth.
Then it was a family
It
member.
was about third or fourth. Then it was another a set of sisters that was older than me. I might have been like no exact. I probably was about maybe 8, 9 years old, and they was graduating high school. That's how it was like 17, 18. They was graduating high school.
So you was groomed, prepped and pruned. You've been through a line of different people. You haven't really stated that you hated it yet. So it sounds like you approved of it all. So I guess you're gonna say that's how you find it so easy and comfortable to be around these kind of people and take that kind of fun punishment, should I say? Fun for you, punishment for me. You know what I'm saying?
So it was like, I don't know. It was like
When you say molesting though, it's like touching you?
No, they was actually trying to make me penetrate them, like the full sex acts or whatever the case. So, you know, it's like, and then when Bam came along, I was already broken in. Like,
all right, so you went through this. Tell us how you met Bam. How you came across to the Zulu Nation.
Well, met Bam been in my whole life. I'm from Bronx River. He's from Bronx River. So
how you met him, Pop?
How
man?
I met him? He knew me since I was in Pampers.
Oh, so you know your family.
He's from Bronx River. Yes, you got to understand something. Bronx River was a project where everybody damn near was like we know each other. Like in your building, whatever building you from, you can go in damn near any apartment, use the bathroom, run from the police, whatever the case may be. See, now it's a little bit different because a lot of people are gone, but Bronx River was Bronx River. Bronx River was like a superpower of New York.
So he knew you. He knew your family. He knew you.
Yeah.
But when you was going through all these molestations or people touching you, you wasn't in contact with him. You just see him. You wasn't like, y'all spoke. Y'all still was on. Y'all was on talking to each other. He'll talk to you.
Like Bam or talk. You gotta understand something.
Like he was sitting outside. I saw a video where he was sitting outside and people. Were
First of all,
walking by talking to
you
him.
gotta understand something. The young boys, for some reason, and I guess we know the reason, was always a magnet. He was always like, it's like when you listen to Lord Sharif, because he's older than me, so he breaks down when they was going to high school how Bam used to go pick the little boys up from junior high school. He always had a fetish for little boys, and from what Pepsi had to say, she tells the story like somebody's supposed to be sympathetic. When Bam was young, around the same age I was, or maybe younger, he got raped by 2 twins. So that's her way of saying this is why Bam is doing what he's doing, because he got.
Who's Pepsi?
Pepsi is one of the I would say she's from the Black Spades, now Zulu. She's on the Zulu Council. She's one that you seen in the video that was making him step down. So she was pretty much breaking down that how Bam got raped by 2 dudes, and that's what messed him up and have him the way that he is. You know, I do understand sometimes that happen, but the reality of it is, if this is how you living and this is what you're doing in the community, whatever your excuses, you got to be put down. When a dog bite a child, you put him down.
Right.
That's the bottom line to it.
So you knew Bam. I'm trying to figure out the timeline. Like what I'm trying to figure out is like, all right, you know him. When did you want to join Zulu Nation? You understand?
You got to understand something. When you dealing with the Zulu Nation, it's like,
Do unto others what has been done unto you. That's what I'm hearing right now.
like you sitting up there watching UFC or WWF. You got the hood legends. Like we had legends in my hood. So of course, then on top of that, not just the legends, the music, like everything. It's not even so much if you wanted it. If you was in Bronx River, you didn't want to join the Zulu Nation. You was already Zulu. That's how that go. So even if you wasn't even like this is the birthplace, you was already Zulu. You just family.
All
Bronx
right.
River was family.
I don't know what's up with y'all tough niggas. Y'all don't like talk. I like details, nigga. I'm like the police.
Yeah, but saying that, Hassan, you saying that you let Bams into Bronx River, you allowed him in there. If it wasn't for them, for that, he wouldn't have touched on no kids. So my point is this: you said everyone was family from Bronx River. So because you're all family, does that mean you're all gonna get raped? Why was Bams sleeping or raping you warden if you're family? Is my question.
Not another rat. I want every single day. I walked outside. I saw him. Hey, man, what's up? That's the type of shit.
You know what it is?
You paraphrasing.
Listen, you know what it is? It's
and
kind
you
of
have
hard.
a good memory.
It's kind of hard to give you details on people that was there your whole life.
Okay, so all right, so he was always so like
He been there my whole life.
okay, got it. Now, when did you go? When did you have a one-on-one with him?
Besides the 2 times you got raped before Bams got around, right?
That's what I mean. Like, when did you? Okay, you part of the Zulu, so you a young Zulu. When did it first happen between you and Bam?
All right, one of the first times that first happened, I can't really tell you around when the first time happened, because like I said, a lot of the times, a lot of the situation, it just
Is it blurry?
it blank. It's like you don't even, some things you just basically forget completely.
Okay.
And then certain things that trigger it and where it come out. But what I could do for you is I can break down, like, for example, I can give you examples. There was a time where it was me, my brother that got life in jail, and
But we only don't really remember the things that is basically, you said you was raped twice before Bams, right? By 2 other people. You know what I'm saying? So by the time you got to Bams and you was cool with Bams and you wanted to be a part of the clique and that, you know, so you're willing to do anything to be a part of the family. It's funny how you don't remember the question he's asking you, because you was already prepped, ready to go, right?
another one of my brothers, we was all in the apartment in Bronx River, and there was an episode that came on of Different Strokes where Arnold,
What show was that?
Arnold and Dudley, Different Strokes.
Let's
The
do
white,
it.
the white shit.
No, the black joint with different strike. Got the white dude, Mr. Drummond. You got Arnold, which is what's his real name? Yeah. I don't know who the fuck that is. Arnold and Dudley.
Yeah, let me Google it real quick, man. It's been a long time, man.
So anyway, in the episode, they was in the store.
We was talking about Willis. There we go.
Yeah,
I thought it was that, but I wasn't sure.
Oh,
yeah.
So now he was in the store, in the basement of the store, and the dude in the store pulled out the Polaroid camera and started getting them to take their clothes off. Now that stood out to us because while we was in there trying to lift the weights in the weight, trying to flex our muscles, now he trying to convince us to take our clothes off. And he pulls out the Polaroid camera. Ooh, let me see your muscles. So we all looked at each other like it got real uncomfortable. So we slid off. So that's one of the moments that stood out. But with Bam's the type of dude. This is what he does. You go in the bathroom, he'll try to follow you in the bathroom. Like he giving you advice on how to piss. Then, like first time he tried to actually break me in, he asked me questions about porno. Do you you watch porn? Like, nah, my moms ain't let me watch no porn. Well, you're supposed to jerk off, right?
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? So now he introducing you to porn. And then while he's introducing you to porn, he pulls out the black book with all the Polaroids in it. And in this book, this is this book you can never forget this book because you see every gangster nigga. I'm talking about killers. He caught them around the same age I was. So now you see these dudes and you see in their faces. He got dudes in the book with like what it's just terrible. It's terrible. So now this is how he's breaking you in.
I mean, what in the book? What naked? Just take a
Butt ass naked, like just all types of foul shit.
So you seen in the magazine in his catalog all the top gangsters, the people that you knew were gangsters that you seen at that age, knowing about what they're about, how they throw down. So you recognizing this man's got all this power to control gangsters, all this money and famous music game. You came to threw yourself to him, right? You thought he would protect you if you open your legs.
You see what I'm saying? And it's like whoa. So then he's telling you that you're supposed to jerk off. You got to jerk off because it's unhealthy for you not to. This is what he's doing. He's breaking you in. Then
open your ass, everybody. Carry on.
He gets you to the point to where that one day I find myself in the room. That it's crazy because a few of the dudes that he actually molested, everybody went to jail for murder.
But let me ask you a question. Before you went in the room, did you tell him you've been molested before? Did you confide in him?
Nah, I didn't tell him that.
Okay, good.
I mean, first of all, you're dealing with the mind of a fragile, broken child. You see what I'm saying? You may have. Sometimes you might find an 18-year-old that's not mentally mature.
Right.
Then you might find somebody that's 15 that's mentally mature. Everybody's not the same. So he was dealing with somebody that he knew was already broken. But then you got to understand, too, you're dealing with a dude that's big as hell, a dude that got an army behind him, and a dude that was a master manipulator because this same dude got every gangster from the community and got away with it and is still walking around. And to this day, so when you asking questions, ask yourself a question because everybody that heard all the proof also knows that, like, for example, I seen Red Pill. Red Pill was talking, and he was like, yo, I ran into a few people that I know in restaurants that admitted that he got them too. That ain't gonna come forward. So everybody knows somebody that he got.
So the black book was basically to woo you. Like, yo, look, these niggas did it.
That's his trophy.
All right.
Also telling you, like, nigga, you might be next. So you see who I got here. Like he bigger than you. He's strong. He's stronger than you. If I can get him, I can get you. So
pretty much,
you stuck in the trap right now.
Then what he started doing, and see, you know what? A lot of shit I blanked out. But then after I put him on blast, I started remembering certain shit and certain people that was older than me, but still 10 years or 11 years younger than Bam, that Bam got. Now these dudes are of age. Bam would have me sitting there watching him giving these older niggas oral sex. dudes that I looked up to. And the funny part about it is when you sit back and you tell the so-called gangsters that's supposed to be around, you tell them like, yo, this is what this nigga was doing. And he watched this during that time. Oh, well, here's the excuse. Well, he might have did that. He allowed that to happen because, he might have been behind on his rent. So now y'all went from being molested by this nigga to prostituting to the nigga. You see what I'm saying? This is the shit that I had to listen to. And
So
I give you an example. That's like, I'm gonna call a name out. One name out. I'm gonna call it. He a soldier too. He got locked up for shooting the police. He get busy. Tafiq, police sergeant on the concourse. Public information. He beat it. Public information. Got locked up for bodies too. Beat it. Public information. We all did. Tafiq, he was molested by Bam. He's supposed to be Bam's cousin. Tafiq's younger brother, Ali Baba, molested by Bam. One day, I'm not gonna call the other name out because dude's got sons. And I realize it brings out a lot of pain, but me, Ali Baba, and another dude that just came home from jail for murder like a few years ago, whatever the case may be now, he's raising his children, proud of him. All three of us, we young boys, he got all of us up in there with a bottle of Vaseline and porn on, trying to jerk all of us off together. This is what the nigga do. You see what I'm saying? Running around, and now, certain dudes talk about, well, Bam said he liked to drink semen because it gives him power by drinking the semens of little boys.
So let me say this. So it sounds like a little bit of ritual that we're going through. A bit like the Nori's door that Hassan Campbell talks about. Not only did Bams come with a catalogue and shows what he's done to other people kind of thing, like top dogs. When you look at the music industry, you go to this party and you see people in there and that certain people that are top dogs in the music game or whatever, and you see them getting down in a certain way, or you hear or you get to learn about them. You understand? Because they wanted a position in life. Do you understand? So my point is this, right? Hassan, after seeing this catalogue of gangsters and they've all been, been through and stuff like that, I think that was your time to choose the door. That was basically his catalogue of doors. You know what I'm trying to say? So you should have got up at that moment and walked out, but that didn't happen, did it, Hassan? So basically, back to what I was saying, you wanted to be a part of his clique. So that was the ritual, right? Yet this as well, right? I'm not right. We can talk like this at this level. When you were younger, yeah, maybe not so brainy, maybe easily led astray. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, let's carry on.
It's just real shit.
What happens to anybody who try to get out the situation? Cause I know somebody had to try to fight him off or try to kill him or something.
There's stories of people that got into it with him, and it may not went down the way that it would have happened with certain other people because some of these people had, they grew up in the family. See, Bam was strong, but some people, like certain things you couldn't do to certain people because then they would ask the question of, well, why are you doing this? And then you had those that would cover it up. You see what I'm saying? Like right now, when you're dealing with the Zulu Nation, you sit back and you analyze it. You didn't see the Zulu Nation handle the situation out the way that it was supposed to be handled. There was no outrage. It was, shh, let's quiet this down so we can get back to business. You're going to answer for this. There was no responsibility on behalf of him. And all of the years, I'll give you a prime example. The dude that stabbed Bam up, where is he?
The Spanish nigga.
Where is he? Now, I do know.
You tell us.
Yeah, but that's you, Hassan. You're a product of the rape. You remember you signed the Nori's door contract, but in the magazine when he showed it, yeah, that was your time to get up and leave. But because you took that ritual and took whatever happened on that day, and you stayed in the family, then you got up, which you're about to talk about now, and say you're going to tell everybody right now how it was you that went to the hospital or went out and found this guy and dealt with him for Bams. So what does that actually say, Hassan? Because you're trying to say, right, well,
You can't leave because everything gets quietened down. But you can't say that about yourself because you was the actual hitman in this case, right? That's what you're gonna say, right? Anyway, let's go.
I do know I was one of the soldiers that was supposed to hit him. And when I got the picture and seen and did my homework and figured out what was going on and seen the baby in his face, it fucked me up mentally.
So what Bam did to him? I heard he stabbed Bam and the manager.
I can't say for sure what Bam did to him, but what I do know is that they said he date raped him. One thing I will say on Bam's defense, I've never known, me personally, Bam to give anybody drugs. I'm not going to never lie on the man. I've never known him to give anybody drugs. So I won't say that he did that for a fact as far as giving him a drug. But what I do know is sometimes some of these young boys may have had something to drink in Bam's house, may have passed out. He may have woken up with his dick in Bam's mouth and couldn't live with it. So the next day, I guess after he went home and realized what happened, he came back from the story that Bam and Ahmed gave me. Ahmed is Bam's he used to be his roommate slash manager. So from what the story that he gave, he said he went
Pop, wait, Pop. The nigga woke up. Bam told you the story what happened, Pop?
Bam never admitted to what happened to Duke. He never admitted.
No, he never told you what he did to Duke?
He never told me what he did to Duke. He said this is what Bam told me. Bam said
In the hospital.
No, in his house. After he got out the hospital, he didn't talk much in the hospital. When we got to his house, he's in there now. He says that we asked him, so what happened with Duke? I already knew what happened. I know Bam like the back of my hand. Once I went in Bam's house, first of all, when you went in Bam's bedroom,
this is new house. His new house.
The new house that he was in, outside of Bronx River, outside of Parkchester. He used to live in Parkchester. It was like in the New Rochelle area.
Yeah, I heard about that.
So now, when you go in Bam's house, this area right here, you literally got this much room to walk past his bed. His room is small, his bed is big. Why was he in your room? He stabbed you in your bedroom. What was he doing in your bedroom? But Bam's answer was, he was saying that he came in there, he was looking funny. Ahmed said, I went to the store to go get me a sandwich. When I came back from the store to get a sandwich, I heard Bam in the room screaming. I runs to the room to see what's going on with Bam. He's stabbing Bam, hitting him in his stomach. Ahmed went to grab him. Now, Ahmed is a black belt. Duke went to stabbing him too. And then I guess, after Ahmed fought him off, he got away. He ran out of the house. Now you ask yourself a question.
So how did we know that? How we know the allegations that was against Bam then?
Well,
if you didn't speak to the guy.
Well, I'll tell you what. For one, the guy called up. He called up on Hot 97 and started tell you this. And he was on the radio and he tried to tell him that this is what Bam did, and they clowned him. Number one. Number two, from people that dealt with the kid, he was telling them, the dude tried to get me. You see what I'm saying? I never personally spoke to Shorty.
Okay.
But this is what he said. Now in the hospital, when I got to the hospital to see Bam, the first thing Saladin is another warrior. Saladin was like, Poppy, you get involved in this, you going to hell. So now automatically everybody's assuming that Bam is back to his old bag of tricks. I mean, the day that I went to Bam's house and he gave me the picture of the young boy that stabbed him, I goes outside, Joe Poen and King Righteous, King Zulu, tells me, see, Joe Poe wasn't there at the time. It was separate times, but both of them sitting up there telling me Bam got locked up in Brazil. They was with him for raping a boy in Brazil.
Well, how you got away? How you got out?
Because the politicians over there were Zulus. Zulu was big.
Gosh.
You got to understand something. You got Zulus all over the... First of all, Bam got Zulu camped in different countries all over the world. Y'all thinking, what's this Zulu stuff? Zulu's been around. And back in the day, Zulu was bigger than blood. More powerful. So when you sitting back and you analyzing this, I mean, the reality of it is, when you look at Lord Jamal and some of these other celebrities that's breaking that know Bam. Bam told the world he didn't know B Stinger. Lord Jamal said, I've been in the studio with both of y'all. B Stinger was in Zulu before I was even there.
All right, so we moving a little fast. Let's go back. So he tried to jerk you. He tried to do some crazy stuff with the Vaseline, all three of y'all niggas. So, but from when he did that, it didn't go to molesting. I mean, that's considered molesting you, but it didn't go to like.
Man, that is molestation.
Yeah.
What
mean,
else is it?
It didn't go. All right. Did he rape you or shit like that? That's what I'm saying. That's what. Like did.
Bam ain't never penetrate me anally, but what he did do, and I never really told nobody this. My first experience when I went to Connecticut, I'm gonna tell you how sick the nigga mind is, because he did the same shit to me. That's how I know Bee Sting is not lying. Bam knew that there would be some physical evidence, so what he did was he thawed me as a young boy. He thawed me as a young boy.
What's thawed?
Where he basically rubbing his penis in between your thighs and not going into your anal cavity, because he probably realized at me being so young, the damage, I would probably have to go to the hospital. He would probably have to answer. He knew that Bam is not stupid. So my first experience, and see, he can't call me a liar, because at the end of the day, I know where the house is at. I know he owns a house in Connecticut. Bam can't. The reason why he played Ron Savage the way he played him, everybody knows me to be a son of Bam. So when I came forward, it was like devastating. It's like having a heart attack. You cannot.
Okay, then. So, are you trying to say you've never been raped by Bam Butter? Are you trying to say that he never raped you? Because if that's the case, why are you on YouTube opening? Why did you come to YouTube talking about it? If he never raped you, and you was willing to be a part of the family and stuff, as a kid, you wanted to be around that energy. So where's the rape? You say, like, or is this what the fuck? Is there a difference between rape and molesting, or is that one and the same? I'm gonna have to go look that shit up, man, because this ain't making sense to me now. So you've been going after Bams, but he never raped you, yet you've been around it for all this time, all these years, and you went to prison and came back out and went straight back around him again, but he never raped you. Is that what you're saying? He never penetrated you, Hassan Campbell? Because that just changed everything. Now it just seems like you're a bitch, a jealous bitch. If that's the case, I'm just saying, yo, and that would be a fact. If he didn't rape you, why are you here talking about it? Well, this is old footage. He ain't talking about it no more, you know. But why even come out of the shadows and mention it? After all you done for him as well, you was going to go and hit up a man for him and all that stuff. I'm just saying, this is confusing, yo.
Deny it. On top of the fact that this ain't the first time. Like, you got to understand something. Bam is like the boogeyman of little boys. Not just in Bronx River, Bronxdale, which was a L projects back in the day, nothing but killers. Soundview. He was the boogeyman. Lambird. Why do you think when you see Zulu now, most of the dudes are older dudes? You don't see too many young boys no more. Why do you think at this point in time with Bambaataa, he's giving the Zulu Nation a gag order to be quiet? Because there's victims that's still there right now that might tell.
So how does it work though? I'm trying to picture this. Not picture it, but
that's what I'm saying. I don't want to picture it.
Yeah, but I mean, like I'm trying to envision. All right, so
he died.
You guys.
Do you really want to envision that?
I mean, not that. I'm trying to envision like the timeline, like how it happened. Like, all right, so
you be paraphrasing.
Yeah. So I'm trying to get a better vision of back in the days how this went. So everyone was Zulu. If you was all in the same projects, you guys are all kind of like family. So you kind of Zulu by default.
Facts.
He molested some of the young kids, whatever. After that, you guys are still like a part of this. So you're a part of the Zulu. Like you guys go back to the house. Like when something happens you don't feel comfortable about, you still go back to Bambaataa and rep the team and the whole Zulu Nation and like could you mentioned earlier that you wanted to go get the dude that stabbed him.
Yeah.
That was after you was molested.
Yeah, that was.
So how did you feel?
That was years later. That was actually grown man.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Well, you gotta let me break something down because I already see where you're going with this. Mm-hmm. For one, you gotta understand.
Wow. Many years after and now, so you're much older and wiser. You see, Hassan Campbell, you messed up, yo. Because you was fully aware what you're doing. You was already broken before you got to Bambaataa. And then you seeing what he was up to. So that was a red flag. You could have left and you chose to stay. And now you're dealing with people for BAMs, or was then, should I say, at an older age. Let's carry on listening.
And there's a thing called Stockholm syndrome. This is what they call it. It's just like in a lot of black people families, you'll have the daughter or the mother leaving the children with the grandfather, knowing that the grandfather raped her. I don't know how. I don't see. I can't.
Listen, that's not in everybody's families, white families, black. You say it like that was programmed for blacks strictly. That happens in all white families and blah blah blah, man. You understand? That's just family.
Can't give you an answer to it. I can't
All
explain.
right, Stockholm syndrome is feelings of trust or affection felt in certain cases of kidnapping or hostage taken by a victim towards a captor.
Yeah, stop. I mean, yeah, Stockholm syndrome. So when you dealing with Stockholm syndrome, which I found that word after all of this, I can't understand it. I couldn't even explain it to you. I couldn't give you an answer because I don't understand it myself. What I will say is like they said, Jamie Foxx said in a comedy. No, not Jamie Foxx. Chris Tucker. Bam Bada was the uncle who paid my way to college and molested me at the same time. Bam was like a father to me.
You know, another thing, Hassan Campbell, you reference a lot of TV shows when you do your thing. Way back then, even today, you talk about movies a lot and stuff. But not that it's a bad thing or not. But I've never really heard a gangster like that talk like about TV shows and movies so much, like the inside all the time. You know what I'm trying to say? And back then, you're younger there, right? Well, I'm not calling you a gang. Was you a gangster? What was your role, Hassan Campbell, around Bombata and in the group? Well, like, what was your role? What was you doing? What would you like do on an average day?
See what I'm saying? He was like a father to me. I was close with Bam, like really, really close. And people gonna sit up there and say, well, why you didn't do this, and why you?
Don't say what. Don't say what you want to say.
Well, you go ahead and you say what you say. Do what you do.
How long Bam been? How many years Bam has been molesting you? How many years?
Honestly,
what age? Or you
honestly, I don't really remember, but I know it was like it maybe my probably maybe 15 years old somewhere like around there. Probably around. Honestly, it had to be around there when I started going berserk. Because at one point in time, I started going berserk. It was like shit it just started going crazy in the streets.
I'm asking you a question. Did you feel affection towards Bam? Now, when I mean affection, not like you felt obligated towards him, even though he was doing this thing.
Do you feel? Was you in love with Bams? Did you love him? Did you love him? I think that's what he's trying to say.
You feel it was wrong, or you just felt like it's a Zulu nation, other niggas went through it, so it's like an initiation.
I felt like it was wrong, but
I wouldn't use the words initiation. I'd say ritual in this case.
I don't know. I don't know what the fuck was wrong with me. I couldn't even explain it.
Okay.
I can't explain it.
Because you could have, if you think about it, at your age when you was going through, to me, my opinion is he took advantage of you because you was broken already. You know what I'm saying? And he got you on his side as a soldier. Because you even told me your flip. I even heard rumors that you put work in for the Zulu. I'm saying for Bam.
That's an understatement.
But what I'm saying to you is that, do you think if you would have talked up earlier, you couldn't have helped nobody else?
If I'd have...
Well, it's what it is. This is all old news right now. Hassan Campbell, there's doubt with this whole situation by now, I think. Well, Hassan Campbell, let me say this, right? I honestly think, everything was done by choice. You chose to be around him. Just from listening to this 24-minute thing, you chose to be around him. And you had more than enough opportunities to leave that circle. But, that was home, right? Whatever happens at home stays at home, right? Like y'all say over there, whatever happens in prison stays in prison, right? Crazy. Anyway, just wanted to have a look at this, chop it up a little bit, put it on the shelf. Yo, I'm outie. Peace. Shout out to all those in the video. Queen's Flip, Hassan, and forgot Queen's Break, the other guy, forgot his name. But shout out to everybody, and yeah, peace.